had warned you earlier about the impending blitz of fake news, disinformation, and propaganda by TPLF and their Western allies to demoralize the Ethiopian people and also the resolve of the Ethiopian defense and security forces from ending this needless war in northern Ethiopia once and for all. We had told you that from beginning Thursday and ending Monday, that is tomorrow, there will be a lot of disinformation being spread by what we call mainstream media to discredit the Ethiopian government and to display the Tigrayans and the TPLF as victims of a ruthless government. Thankfully, many of you were able to agree with me and start the campaign to counter the allegations and the intended propaganda by the TPLF and their Western allies, including the snake oil salesman in Washington, that is the Nigerian fellow who calls himself Karl Marx von Batten. We know he is paying a lot of journalists in the Horn of Africa. He is paying a lot of bloggers. He is paying a lot of YouTubers to discredit the Ethiopian government. Now, the only thing we can confirm now is that, as we have already told you in our tweets, that the CNN, the BBC, Al Jazeera, the France 24, Associated Press, and many other international media have gathered in a town known as Wad Muzamil in eastern Sudan, fully supported. And in fact, they are staying in a hotel which is protected by the security forces of the Sudan government, waiting to break news to discredit the Ethiopian government by displaying the government in Addis Ababa as a bloodthirsty regime that is killing the Tigrayan faith columnists. These are fellows who've been arrested in many parts of Ethiopia, including Addis Ababa, for aiding and abetting the war against the government by the TPLF. Now, there is a good reason why these Western media are in Wad Muzamil. As we all know that the U.S. Secretary of State, Mr. Anthony Blinken, was in East Africa, but he failed to rally the states around East Africa, that is the Horn of Africa, the IGAD countries against Ethiopia. He wanted the states to twist the Prime Minister Ahmed Abiy and force him to negotiate with the insurgents from Tigray. But that did not happen. Consequently, the psychological operations against the people of Ethiopia and the government of Ethiopia are now in top gear, so as to continue the hybrid war that is being waged by the United States against Ethiopia. People, it is very sad that we have seen that the U.S. government is even supporting Sudan, a state that has in the past housed Al-Qaeda and even the terrorist organizations, a state that had factories that were being used to make bombs to conduct terrorist operations and terrorist hits around the world, including terrorist hits of cities of Nairobi and Dar es Salaam in East Africa. That is the country now that America is working with to destabilize the rest, to destabilize Ethiopia and the rest of the countries in the Horn of Africa. You can see the efforts the U.S. is putting to force General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan to reappoint Prime Minister Abdel Hamdok so that Sudan can be stable. So for them to continue their efforts of destabilizing the other countries in the Horn. This situation is something very strange and very worrying. But we have told you before that the best way to counter this propaganda is for all Ethiopians, all Africans to stand united. And in all cities, in every city, in every country in Africa and wherever Africans and people of African descent are found in the world, to say no more lies, no more efforts to destabilize the continent and to force the people of Africa into a neocolonialism and to exploit our resources without any recompense to our people. No more killing of our people in the name of imperialism and exploitation. It is very strange that we are finding it quite funny that the United States is telling its citizens to leave Ethiopia. Why? The United States government never told its citizens to leave Kabul in Afghanistan, but they are telling people to leave Ethiopia. We are concerned that the propaganda and lies that is coming will be used as a basis for the American government to use its forces in the Horn of Africa to attack Ethiopia and force a regime change, an unconstitutional regime change. This is something that we, all Africans, must resist in all ways and means so that we can safeguard the sovereignty and the freedom of the people of Ethiopia as well as the rest of Africa. Thank you.